The outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic has affected over 180 countries and infected more than 200 million people across the globe. This is Jobert, and today we will be going to talk about a question that is connected to this COVID-19 pandemic. Aside from the health implications and loss of life, the pandemic has strained healthcare systems, disrupted educational systems, wreaked havoc on business and economies, resulted in job losses, and also it disrupted social life with lockdowns, curfews, and other stringent measures aimed at containing the virus being implemented globally. One of the most affected relationships is the one we have with our loved ones. One day, someone asked me this question.
Do you think the COVID-19 pandemic made us closer or made us disconnected from each other? Justify your answer.
I was baffled after hearing the question, so in order to get a sense of what was going on, I asked people who could explain it to me. So I asked 4 Greek teachers who live in Naval, and here's what they say.
For me, there are 2 things that I would like to emphasize. First is it made us closer to each other. Why? Because we have more time with each other than before. We talk with each other, we eat together, and we discussed everything, and that made us closer to each other. On the other side of the coin, it made also disconnect with the other members of the family, especially those family members who are not living inside the house with us, because when the pandemic came and the whole Philippines was under what do you call this? Quarantine. Nobody is allowed to travel. So the other member of the family, they left to their work, to the place where they work, and they were not able to come home, which made them disconnected with their family. Disconnect in the sense that they did not see each other physically, but they can communicate with each other because of the technology nowadays. So that's it for me. There is disconnection, and there is closer also the family.
Yes, I personally observed that with this pandemic that we have, it gets us closer to our loved ones. It's because we have more time to them, unlike before that we have to our most of our time is at our work. But with this pandemic, I myself personally observed that I have more time to them than before. But one that I have observed as well is na-feel na ko ang problema sa balay nga na ako dito. Unlike sa una nga na ako sa eskwelahan that and went home late at night, matulog na lang ko, mata balik sa eskwela. But karon, most of my time is my family. So makain ko nga, maybe it's also a blessing that I personally observe what's going on around during daytime as well. Then, of course, our faith in God is also strengthened because, one of our fears ng God is mahadlok na mag-COVID. So, ato ang faith nga, we are live by faith. Ako, masigyo ang pong ko mag-COVID, bisag may mga COVID. Sige, mig gawas, even since nga sugod ang COVID, sige, mig panghatag sa mga tao, but thanks God na wala dito nag-COVID. So, that's it. COVID gets closer to everyone, to God, to family, and to everybody.
Yung kunin ko nga, there are mga two sides of the question. In one way, it makes the family closer to one another if they are at the time nga the COVID happened, nga the family is together. Pero if during the occurrence of the COVID-19, the family, some members are out of the family, it keeps them separated for some time, di ba? During quarantine period, they cannot be together unless after quarantine, they are allowed to go home. Just like itong mga OFWs, some OFWs do not cannot come home early because of the quarantine period. So it keeps them separated for some time, and they try to suffer the consequence of being separated. They cannot readily go home.
Okay, I think for me, pandemic made us closer in terms of the relationship, family, to God, and to other people. Because as we know nowadays, in the pandemic, still we need the care of each other. We need the love of each other. And another is, we made us closer as one family because especially that we are not allowed to have like physical contact or face-to-face, but in the family we are one or united as one, and it is also very important that when we are in the family we can always talk to each other, or even to our some friends. We don't have any like we have to meet them in personal, but we can meet them through messenger or through video call. So the more we will involve them or contact them, the more we will get closer to each other.
After hearing all of the responses, I've concluded that the COVID-19 pandemic has brought us closer together while also dividing us, because it is entirely dependent on your specific situation. What I found out is that it only depends now on your socioeconomic status, your possessions, and what type of work you do every day. If you work in a hospital, you will be physically separated from your loved ones. However, with the help of social media, you can maintain a virtual connections with your loved ones. Working from home or online, on the other hand, allows you to spend more time with your family. As you can see, this COVID-19 pandemic really complicates things. But remember to love your family, your friends, and anyone who is close to your heart. Remind yourself to stay connected to them at all times. Life is far too brief. You should spend majority of your time with your family. And that's all for now. See you next year.